It's Wes S. Yeah, same lighting, same fire, same notepad, but this is different. Different YouTube video. Sorry about that. The top of my normal cough, now I have a cold. So, yay. Did I say yay yet? Anyway, we was, me and Rob were watching, listening to, trying to participate in the chat line, but then we got, well, I got completely sidetracked on it. On the tabletop exercise off of FLP. And that's what I'll title this video is, FLP's tabletop exercise. Because I listened to it on the way home again. And I got my wife to listen to it after I got home. And then I listened to it again, and now I'm in here. Because my daughter almost talked me out of the way I was thinking. She really did. Because she come up with a pretty good alternative. As a matter of fact, she may have talked me out of my stance on it. But she went a completely different direction than anything I heard or saw in the tabletop exercise. And we're going to cover that too. But a quick rundown for anybody that wasn't in there. And I strongly suggest you go watch this one and then find out when the next one's scheduled. If you're not subscribed to FLP, Finger Lakes Pepper, subscribe to him, click the bell. Do the same on my channel, of course. But be there for the tabletop exercises because a lot of the good stuff happens in the side chat. A lot of it. Okay? But the scenario is that there were 6 families that all had 2 kids. So you can, and I'm assuming they're 2 partners because I don't want to offend anybody, 2 spouses and then 2 children. So that's a 4-member family. There are 6 4-member families. You were a mutual assistance group before SHTF. Everybody pooled, everybody had their specific whatever. Everybody equal shares into the deal. Part of the deal was for years before the event happened, y'all actually cross-trained, trained each other. I mean, you have years and years and years invested in each other before the event happens. Now, y'all have all made it to your retreat, and it's been 5 years. 5 years of y'all all sharing your preps, your food, your ammo, whatever. You've worked together. You've had to fight off other groups. You've had to, deal with thieves and hordes of zombies and alien invasions and such. But now here's the kicker: everybody knows everything. There's no secrets in the group. Everybody knows all the operations, all the ins and outs of every aspect of your retreat. Okay. Now here's the deal. The number 2 guy, the number 2 person walks up to you out of the blue. I mean, you don't see this coming. You don't know there's a problem. Literally out of the blue. There's no heads up. You can't see anything going on. I mean, remember, there's only 12 adults involved in this. So, to keep a secret amongst 12 adults that are in close proximity to each other for 5 years would be nigh on impossible, I would think. So anyway, number 2 walks up to number 1 and says, hey, me and mine and these other 3 families, that means 4 families, want to take our stuff. We want to divvy the stuff back up. We want to take our stuff and we want to move 20 miles away from this location, and we're going to start our own, we're going to start another compound. That leaves you with one other family. So instead of having, what would that be? Instead of having the 12 adults, now you only have, you're going to have 4 adults and 4 children, as opposed to what you had previously. And 2/6 of the remaining supplies, which, I mean, actually, food and ammo per person it remains the same. The only thing that changes is all of a sudden you've got the guy who has been your right-hand person for the past 5 years through thick and thin, just walks up to you and says, hey, we're taking our stuff and we're leaving. The question was, what do you do with it? What do you deal with that? I mean, how do you deal with that? And I got a couple of LOLs in the side deal because everybody thought I was joking. And maybe it's a good thing that they LOL'd me. And remember, this is a total grid down. The world has gone to poo. There's no sheriff. There's no National Guard. There's no nothing. There's you. There's you. If my number 2 walks up to me out of the blue, I'm not even wanting to talk to me about it, discuss nothing, just says, hey, we're leaving. We're taking our share of the stuff. We're leaving you and this other person here, or we're leaving you 2 families here. We're taking our stuff and we're going somewhere else. It wouldn't go well for him. It would not. Because I would be like, okay, and let's assume that we were hanging together for 5 years before SHTF. So we've got 10 years invested in each other. And then out of the blue, he just says, hey, we've changed our mind. We don't like you. They want me to be the boss, and we're leaving. And it's basically, we don't like you 2 families, so we're leaving y'all behind. I mean, I'm not going to worry about fighting out why he wants to take and leave. My response would, because there's going to have to be a person, there's not going to be in a group that tight and that close with nothing coming up. There has to be a person, or perhaps a couple, that has brought this up. And plain and simple, in a nutshell, number 2 would be through. And then the question would be asked, do y'all want to continue to follow number 2? Or do y'all want to rethink this and let's sit down and let's talk about this and see what the real problem is? It's really not a good way to handle it, because it creates all kinds of other deals down the line. I'm really proud of my young girl in there. Hold on one second. Okay, I've given myself 2 more minutes, maybe 3. My daughter said, well, dependent on how everything went down or whatever, but she said, if that's the deal, fine, split it with them, but tell them don't come back here looking for us because we're going to be here. We're going to go take everything we know about them and we're going to go find our own new group. We're going to have to go hook up with other people, because there's no way two families with children are going to be able to maintain security and stuff. That by taking the four families, leaving the group of six families, they have completely killed the group. So if you choose to do anything other than end the reworking, then you, my friend, are going to have to go find you another group somewhere, or you are going to be those two small families trying to defend yourself against. Because this is 5 years in, almost everybody's out of stuff. Now is when the people eating people stuff's really going to be going good. It's going to be skilled people eating people now. Sure, there may be some game coming back, but it's going to be really smart game. Maybe the rivers and lakes have recuperated. Maybe. I mean, we're talking, this is a total grid down. Everything's gone. I mean, you had to leave home and you're living in a bunker in the woods. That's the situation. Or maybe not a bunker. Maybe you're living in a cabin. Maybe you're living in a big giant lake house on top of a mountain. I don't know. Doesn't matter. There was 24 people, I think was my math on it. 24 people that left everything they owned to go live in the woods and eat out of buckets and on campfires. Sorry, Pastor Wes. Is not going to let you, is not going to be nice about it. I mean, it may come down to you get to go and do whatever you want to, and because my daughter was able to talk me out of slaughtering the whole bunch and just keeping their stuff. It's a whole lot easier. I mean, because you just stretch whatever you had left, you just stretched it by that much. And because the only reason for that is because those four families were fixing to leave you for marauder bait. They were just going to cut you loose. They were no longer your friends. For whatever reason. It doesn't matter what the reason is. If that conversation didn't roll around real quick to explaining what or this or that, and them having some other reason than him just, the other person just wanting to be the boss for leaving, it would not go well at all. Now, if there was some legitimate personality thing or whatever, and the other family said, yeah, we don't want to be around you anymore. We don't like them other people's kids. They keep looking at our kids funny, or whatever. If they, they would say something, then yeah, then we'd take our little families or whatever. We said, fine, okay, y'all gone. We're keeping the mule though, because we're going to use it to haul our stuff because y'all got more people. Basically, there might be a little tussle over who gets to keep the wagon, but yeah, that's. Now, today, if, in this day and age, if all my mag wanted to bail, go on, man, I'll find somebody else. But if it's finally starting to look up and we're making it because of the group, and then all of a sudden somebody goes through and plants a seed of dissension in whatever, enough to split the group like that. Even if it's supposed to be 3 and 3. Somebody has gone through all the troubles to cut your group in half even, not just, what is it, 4/6, 2/3, whatever, shut up. Still, there's no point. In SHTF, the rules that you would apply today do not apply. Not when it comes to your 6 o'clock. You can't. This is, I mean, I don't know if y'all have watched all my videos, you know I can be pretty dark. This is as dark as it gets. But yeah, 5 years into SHTF, one of the guys comes in and says, hey man, I've talked these other 3 families into leaving you 2 here, and they're going to come with me, and they're going to be my posse, and y'all are on your own. Number 2 is through. Will I let him know? No. Will everybody else see him say goodbye? There's a really good chance. Stay alive. Don't die. Do not try to stab your new family in the back in SHTF, because your number 1 might just be a guy like me. You know, I don't believe in puppies and kittens, not when it comes to zombies.